Guys, I was going to start off this video report today talking about free picks coming up and promos and everything else, but bottom line, it's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all of you out there, whether you're fortunate enough to have children. I have a son who just graduated from high school, getting ready to go off to college. Whether your father is alive or whether he's passed away. Mine passed away a couple of years ago, this past March, but it's all relative. My wife's father passed away over 15 years ago. So either way, though, you know as well as I do, you don't need a date circled on the calendar in the middle of June to remind you of your father. And I was going to start this video in another way, and then I happened to look over my shoulder here, and you can see the Ali listing, the first round knockout, May 1965, the poster I have up right behind me. And I thought about my dad, even though I've been in sports my entire life, and I told you I started off as a reporter, and then I eventually turned to the dark side and got into this handicapping thing. It wasn't like my father and I bonded over sports. Now, we watched football. Definitely watched football. Grew up Eagles fans, in Philadelphia. So definitely watched Eagles through a lot of lousy years of football, okay? But it was boxing. Boxing was the thing that we absolutely cared the most about. And Ali, my personal favorite athlete, and I think his as well. Although I'd have to say there were probably a couple of throwback football players. I know he loved Pete Retzlaff of the Eagles, and Mike Ditka, and Chuck Bednarik, and those type of guys from the 60s, and Bart Starr, and some of the Packers as well. But boxing was it. Watch boxing all the time. Back in those days growing up, that was when boxing used to be, with Cosell on ABC or on CBS. They'd have Gil Clancy and whoever calling the big fights. I remember the first fight I ever watched was Ali and Norton, the first time they met. I remember I'm standing at a Sears store watching this with my father, watching Norton break his jaw and Ali still continuing the fight. That was the first boxing match I ever remember watching, and that was it. I was always attracted to Ali. That was the guy that we always watched. In later years, it was Duran. Leonard, first fight I ever went to, happened to be Leonard Duran, the first boxing match, the first of their three matches. So that's what we shared. So I hope you have a great day today and enjoy it with your family. And listen, guys, if betting today, whether it be baseball or game number 5 of the NBA Finals, is going to affect the day that you may have with your family, then don't bet. Don't watch the rest of the video. Just go away and come back another day. There'll be more action to bet tomorrow, okay? That's how I personally feel. Anyway, free picks yesterday, 2-0 sweep. Astros, White Sox under. Also cashed in with the Washington Nationals. Jesus. Did I not tell you in my free pick analysis that Jordan Zimmerman, you can't trust him on the road? 5-0 lead going into the bottom of the third inning. Washington gave it all up and then had to rally for single runs in the 8th and the 9th innings before cashing with the win. But 2-0 sweep, looking for baseball winner number 4 out of 5 today. I'm going to take a look at the Angels-Yankees contest. Of course, my personal best bet last night happened to be the Angels. Can they complete the 3-game sweep? And I'm also going to tell you which way to play game number 5. As far as I'm concerned, in the NBA Finals, and I'm a perfect 4-0 with my free picks in the finals so far. All that's coming up. Let's get to your promotions here for Sunday and talk about a couple of handicappers that are worth mentioning. First of all, Brad Wilton is a perfect 3-0 with 109 NBA releases since he joined the site right before the Super Bowl. All 3 of them have happened here in the postseason. The most recent one was the Heat in Game 2 by 19 points over the Spurs. Pacers Heat under in Game 7 of that Eastern Conference Final Series. Spurs Grizzlies under in Game number 4 of the Western Conference Final Series. 3-0 with those 109 plays. But today, he has the first ever 200 dime play of his career. Not just the NBA, of his career since he has started here at the site before the Super Bowl. He's never had 125 dime plays, never had 150 dime play. This is it. 200 dime play. First ever. It's your Miami, San Antonio side. And that's what he's got going today. And it's twice as strong as those 100 dime releases. Now, also going today, Brian Rosica, who has cashed in with all 3 of his NBA final plays. 109 winners on games 2, 3, and 4, the side selections. And in fact, you got his Game 3 and Game 4 plays, half price, and all those plays, all 3 of them were 100 dime plays. Well, today, 100 dime winner number 4 in a row but this time it's the total for game number 5. And you can get it and save $50 in the process simply by using coupon code Brian50. And remember, that's BRYAN and the number 50. $10 bettors up $9,640 since he joined the site right after the Super Bowl back on February 5th. You know the deal with Rosica. This is a guy who used to be a line maker for one of the biggest offshore sports books in the world that was based out of Costa Rica. Did it for about a year, gave it up, came back to the States, was in Vegas. I met him through Anthony Red, added him here to the site, and you know, he got off to that phenomenal start. I think he hit 17 of his first 18 plays, and like everybody else, he eventually cooled off, but he's back on another roll. 3-0 with 100 dime plays in the NBA Finals. A 4th straight one goes today, and you can get it for $50 off simply by using that coupon code Brian50. Now, if Rosica doesn't happen to be at this site, guys, just contact customer service and they'll point you in the right direction. Perhaps you want to make your own savings coupon today? Well, here's the deal. You can save $33 off a single purchase today simply by using coupon code SAVE33. So it's a one-time usage coupon. It's good for a package. It's good for a play. Hey, guys, if you want to use it on Brad Wilton's first ever 200 dime play, go ahead. It's your choice. Save $33 simply by using the coupon code SAVE33. For the $5 play of the day, I'm going to come right back with Anthony Red, who yesterday cashed in with his 75 dime total winner with the A's and Mariners easily under the total in a 4-0 finale. You got that play as the $5 play of the day. Today, he goes for winner number 9 out of 12 overall, and it's his Game 5 total winner. And you can get it for $5, save $65 simply by using coupon code Vegas5. Vegas5, VEGAS, and the number 5. Okay, those are your promos here for today. Now, let's talk about a couple of other handicappers here. Craig Davis, 50 dime winner, number 31 out of 53. Your Miami San Antonio side, $10 bettors up over $3,800 in the playoffs. He, of course, had a 100 dime play with the Miami Heat on Thursday night in game number 4, and $10 bettors up over $6,100 in all sports combined, dating back to November. Now, let's get to your free selections. Let's talk about game number 5 tonight. It is a tough game. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts. It is a very difficult game to really get a handle on. Because obviously, the Spurs, as you well know, are in a must-win situation. But how many times have we said that in this series? Geez, the Heat were in a must-win situation in game number 2. Spurs were in a must-win situation in game number 3. Heat in a must-win situation in game number 4. Every single one of those must-win situations, the team that had to win got the job done. Spurs are in it now because, as you know, 2-3-2 format of the finals, not 2-2-1-1-1, would have been more advantageous. Spurs must win tonight. It's a best 2 out of 3 series, guys. That's it. So, here's the interesting thing. The Spurs come up with the upset in game number 1. They get hammered in game number 2. Spurs come home in game number 3. They blow out the Heat. Heat, of course, blow out the Spurs in game number 4. There has been no rhyme or reason or rhythm. And you need rhythm sometimes when it comes to handicapping in a series in order to really get your, to get a good grasp of what's going on. There's been no rhythm in this series. Listen, the problem with the Spurs has been turnovers. When they have won, they haven't turned the ball over. When they have lost, they've simply turned the ball over too many times. That's the bottom line. 34 turnovers in the 2 losses in this series, 16 turnovers in the 2 wins. Game, set, match. They had 19 turnovers in game number 4. You're talking about the big 3 for these various teams. Well, hey, it's nice that D-Wade finally showed up. It's nice that Chris Bosh finally showed up. You knew LeBron was going to show up in game number 4. Here's the thing. How many times did we say during the regular season the past couple of years, for the Heat to win, they've got to get 80 to 85 points from their big 3? Well, they got 85 points from their big 3 in game number 4. But listen, this was Dwayne Wade's biggest game of the postseason. Wade has not had back-to-back 20-point games since early in March. Okay? It's been early in May. Early in May. It's been a little while for him, okay? Bosh, underachieving throughout the playoffs. I talk about the law of averages. Are these guys going to combine for 85 points again here today? I just don't think so. Now, on the other side, we had the law of averages coming to effect with the Spurs in game number 4. And I warned you about it because after Gary Neal and Danny Green came out of nowhere to have the monster game, In game number 3, 51 total points. They only combined for 23 in game number 4. And you expected the Spurs to win? Listen, Tony Parker had 16 points playing on that strained hamstring, which he probably shouldn't be playing with. Could blow at any time. He's even said it himself. But Parker had 16 points in the first half, had nothing in the second half of that game. Tim Duncan had a good game. Manu Ginobili, the final component of the big three for San Antonio, he's been missing in action this entire postseason. 1 for 5 shooting in game number 4. They need something from Ginobili here in today's game. It's a difficult game. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I think San Antonio is to play here in this game. I have said I think 4 other times in this series, and I've been 4 for 4. So I think San Antonio is to play here today. But again, I'm not putting my own money on it, so it's easy for me to say I think they're the play. You're talking about Miami. You're talking about how good Miami does after a loss. Well, Miami sucks lately here after a win. That's the bottom line. Miami has not followed up a win with another win since the Chicago series. I mean, it just hasn't been going that way for Miami here in the postseason. I mean, the Spurs have only lost 4 games in the postseason. 4 games. They've covered in every single one of those next games after the 4 losses, going 4-0 against the spread. I mean, Miami has followed its last 5 wins with losses. They haven't covered 2 in a row since the second round of the Chicago series, okay? And I think the other thing that plays to San Antonio's advantage here is that you had the benefit of the extra day off. Because remember, instead of playing, they played Tuesday, they played Thursday, but for TV purposes, they pushed this game to Sunday. How crucial is that? When you've got an aging trio of players with Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili, and most importantly, when you've got Parker nursing the injury. So there was no practice on Friday. Parker said he felt pretty much better on Saturday. We got to see today. So I think San Antonio is the way to go in this game. It's a tough one, though. That's the bottom line. Now, in terms of your baseball selection, I'm going to go with the Angels and lay the 150 to look for the sweep of the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees are just spiraling out of control. The reason that I used the Angels as my best bet yesterday, and it was nice to win a play, period, no matter what sport it was in here over the past couple of weeks, is because I just like the way the Angels were suddenly hitting. And they hit again yesterday, winning that game 6-2. They've now won 3 straight games and scored 20 runs in the process. LA's on a 27-12 roll, playing at Anaheim Stadium in the last 39 regular season meetings between these foes. Jared Weaver's going today. He did not pitch particularly well in his last start against Baltimore, a team that he's dominated throughout his career, giving up 4 runs and 6 hits in 5 2/3 innings Monday night at Baltimore. And he hasn't particularly pitched that well against the Yankees in his lifetime, with a 4.97 earned run average. But he is 6-2 lifetime and 11 career starts against the Yankees. Why? Because the Angels, no matter who's in the lineup, have always supported them with runs. Over 8 runs per game on average in those 11 career starts. CC Sabathia is going for the Yankees today. He's got a 4.07 earned run average, and believe me, he hasn't even pitched that well here of late. His ERA in the last 5 starts, 5.55. Pitched against Oakland, at Oakland on Tuesday night. 6 innings, gave up a couple of homers among the 8 hits and 6 runs in that contest. True, he has pitched very well lifetime against the Angels, but he hasn't faced them since 2011. He is not the same pitcher today that he was in 2011. Mark Teixeira got hurt in yesterday's game, aggravated a wrist injury. Youkilis was just back on the DL. The Yankees simply aren't scoring. I mean, they've scored, I think, let me just think here. I think they've scored a total of 12 runs in their last 6 games. So I'm going to go with the Angels as your other free pick today. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all, and I will catch you again on Monday.